Hello and good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's another beautiful Tuesday, and we got a special guest with us today on the Business Exchange. He's been doing amazing work around the city of Atlanta, and I ain't gonna lie, he's one of the few people I've really seen combine sports and art in such a pure way. Please, y'all, give it up for A.R. Cooper.
How y'all doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. So I kind of want to hear more about your journey. Like I know you was a former athlete and you've been around sports your whole life, but take me through your, I guess, sports career.
Man, let me just start off by saying I'm from Southwest Atlanta.
Southwest Atlanta,
You
baby.
know,
Born,
just
born and raised.
Southwest Atlanta, born and raised. Went to APS schools, graduated from a Fulton County school, but went to college in Georgia. Long story short, I got to play international basketball, coach international basketball. I got to coach Team USA in a tournament called the Jones Cup in Taiwan. So, sports wise, I mean, it all really started with my dad. My father worked for the Atlanta Braves. My mother worked for the Atlanta Hawks. It's kind of like I'm just an Atlanta sports love story, bro. Like for real, for real. And I got, like I said, the opportunity to extend my playing career that ended up turning into team ownership in a minor league. I partially owned the team in Dominican Republic. So just going through the whole sports
You've
gambit,
seen every angle of being in the sporting world.
brother, from picking up towels in the locker room to deciding who's getting drafted number one to like literally selling my team. Like I've done everything in sports.
If you don't mind me asking, what would you say is the most fun? Do you like competing or you like kind of being in the front office?
I got old, so I ain't got a choice now. But it's nothing. It's nothing like competing. It's nothing like competing because you can literally go every day and start off at 5 in the morning, and you- that's where the competition starts. Like when you're training by yourself, or you good. But yeah, when you're training, when you're by yourself, when you're doing all the things before you even get to the core of the field, you got to lock in so early that it's nothing like it. But the investment level is different. The investment level is different.
So tell us about I guess your unique project, Art in the Paint. Tell us what inspired that.
Man, art in the paint is literally what I was born and raised to do. Um, Started art in the paint because I was at Stone Mountain and I understood a little bit of the history, but there was a protest the day before I got there, and there was an older black lady when I got up there who said, "Hey, do you know the history of this mountain and what it means to our people? Do you understand that those men on that monument didn't like people like us?" And when you see art,
Stone Mountain, correct?
Stone Mountain, uh, referencing Dr. King's "I Have a Dream" speech, right? But when you see three Confederate generals or four Confederate generals on a mountain, and you understand that that can be an intimidation tactic, that can be sharing pride for oppressing people, like I did not feel comfortable. And as somebody who's a creative, I said, well, what can I do in my community to flip that? How can I put imagery that does make people feel empowered, that does make people feel strong, that does make people feel safe? Like, how do I flip that and put that in my neighborhood where we need it the most? That turned into a wonderful housing project in College Park, Georgia, where the people just said, "Hey, we got this busted court. Do what you want." They ain't have no restrictions. I don't know,
Go crazy.
bro. I don't think we went through a process. We just showed up with some paint and was like, "We doing this." And what happened after was all the politicians wanted to do a ribbon cutting. All the nonprofits wanted to partner with us to bring their programming there because, if you're a nonprofit program, you don't always get into a YMCA. So, as a board member of a YMCA, I understand the costs associated with keeping the lights on and the water running. So, I created something where we're in the park. I don't have an electric bill, I don't have a water bill. So, it keeps my costs low enough to offer free programming for kids. So, that's kind of the genesis of Art in the Paint.
Did you ever think back from when you was decided you made that moment or that decision on Stone Mountain to now that your art will be stretching across continents from Atlanta to Africa?
I ain't worked this hard not to be great. I get up at 4:30 every morning with clear intentions on what I want. So I've always viewed me as a global citizen. I've personally been to about 50 countries. I've played basketball in about 13. I've helped kids learn how to play basketball in over 30 countries. So my viewpoint, especially being a kid from Atlanta, is always global. It's always global.
Tell us about your Policy of Play Summit.
Oh my goodness, man. That is a wonderful thing for me. Like I said, I'm a guy who grew up. First internship was with the Fulton County government. My first job was with the Atlanta Braves as a bat boy. My second job was with the Atlanta Hawks as a ball boy. So I've never had a job that wasn't in sports. Just
Hey,
being,
just know how lucky you are to be, man. I ain't
bro, it's a blessing. But I don't know nothing else.
gonna lie.
And then as a byproduct of that, all my friends have only worked in sports. So as somebody who's been in that position, I get people come up to me asking me all the time, how'd you get that job? And I never know what to say. Cause it's like, to me, you got to ask the right person. I'm the wrong person. So I want to after 20 years kind of change that narrative. And I looked at all my friends that are excelling in sports. I got friends that are, work for the Hogs, Detroit Pistons, Golden State Warriors, MLB teams. And I said, well, what do we all have in common? How did we all get here? How do we all stay here? Because getting the job is one thing, having a career is another thing, keeping the career and leaving a legacy is a whole nother thing. I looked at what Jackie Robinson did. I looked at what Jack Johnson did. I looked at Roberto Clemente and I said, wait a minute, I'm seeing sports drive culture and policy throughout American history. I'm a part of that. How do I intertwine that knowledge and understanding into developing young professionals? So that's how we started the policy at play cohorts, and the summit is a celebration of the work that the cohorts do, and really expanding any and everything you can think about around equitable play and safety. We do work in parks. Parks are in neighborhoods. People hear parks, they think national parks. We thinking about the park in my neighborhood where somebody just got shot. Like, we want to clean that up. We want to clear that up. When people hear I'm in sports, yeah, I've been on professional sports teams. I've coached, owned all that. But what about the little neighborhood kid who it was a bad call made and his daddy went to the trunk and brought a gun out? We want to make sure that we don't think of sports as this. It's all of us. It's a part of our culture.
So I know that might have been an example, but I've seen that situation at courts a lot of times. And sometimes it won't even be the dad, it'll be a fellow player. You make a move too hard. Why do you feel like, how do I phrase this the right way? Why do you feel like our spaces and where we're supposed to be happy, have fun, and competitive always kind of, there's always situations like that, especially, and why is it always in Black neighborhoods?
It's not just in Black neighborhoods. You watch a soccer game in any community, you see fights. I saw a video of a pickleball player
Really?
kick somebody in the face after losing the pickleball game. I think, I think as a people, Black and brown people have to look at policy as our legacy. And I'll give you an example. Great granddaddy owned a store. He actually owned the club, but we'll call it a store. It might be some moonshine going on. We ain't gonna talk about that.
Right, you funny now.
But it our family doesn't own it anymore. But when I go, the policies that he set in place in 1955, they're still moving that way. They're still going by the rules that were set, what is this point, 70 years ago? So when we think policy too, just like I said, sports can be this big, policy can just be the rules of your house. If we don't clean up our houses though, that's how we get the dads going to the trunks. That's how we get, that's how we don't, that's how we get the disenfranchisement of neighborhoods where this group came over to our neighborhood. We should really be hospitable. Like we want to come, we're gonna beat you when you come and hoop, but you shouldn't feel unsafe, right? So to answer your question, we are like that because we don't take control of the policies around what we do. If you ever hooped in neighborhoods, when you go to my neighborhood, you play by my neighborhood's rules. If we got to win by two, bro, you got to go by two. So we have policy all around us, but it's pulling it in, making our people understand it and understand the power of it to make our neighborhood safer and more equitable. Because I've been the kid on the sideline waiting for next, and somebody said, "Nah, you ain't got next," and they got a pistol on them, and what do? So cleaning some of that stuff up, man, making it safe, making it fun, that's a big part of it.
Can you tell me one court transformation or field transformation that really moved you emotionally and why?
All of them. All of them. We don't go where we're not needed. We don't do this for show. We transform public spaces, which means I don't own it, we own it. So there's a million stories I got of this person or that person who will tell me a story that happened 50 years ago on the court. And you'd be like, bro, how do you remember this? But it all matters. If it doesn't matter, I don't do it, right? I'll tell you a cool thing that happened. Long story short, we have hosted a bunch of health fairs and done cool things because of the courts. And we had a grandmother who hadn't been to the doctor in 7 years, found out she had breast cancer and was able to like save her life. Like she actually went to the doctor. Yeah. Yeah. So some good things have happened from our courts. I mean, we've put about overall between services, artwork, all that, over $8 million into the city. So every opportunity is a cool story, to be honest with you. But I think the overwhelming thing is understanding that our neighborhoods deserve dignity. Our neighborhoods should be treated with respect, and you should be proud of where you're from. And if my courts make you proud, then that's a cool thing.
Your work landed you in the Adidas cohort. How was that experience, and where were you when it was announced?
Man, I got that on every day. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think the coolest part about the Adidas and Impact Hub cohort is my fellow cohort mates are just amazing. I learned so much just from having peers where I don't have to go through this social entrepreneurship journey myself. The clothes are great. The shoes are great. They took us to the Final Four. Like they've been really great to us. And even Impact Hub, I will say I got about probably $100,000 worth of consulting fees covered through their programming, and we're really growing and transforming our business. So, yeah, man, it's been a blessing. And like I said, I love wearing all my stripes, man, all my stripes. I earned my stripes, so I'm gonna keep wearing them.
So rock 'em.
Yeah.
Alfred Tuck Holmes. Can you maybe speak on what he meant to our people and our culture for those that really don't know about him?
Let me back up a little bit. Like I said, I'm from Southwest Atlanta, Campbellton Road, right? For those of you who don't know Campbellton Road, people you don't stop at stoplights on Campbellton Road. One of my cousins, man, one of my favorite cousins, Kenny, owned the Crystals restaurant, right in front of a golf course. I went to the YMCA right across from there. There was a library right next to it, and I kept seeing this golf course. And number one, I'm in the hood. I don't know I can go to this golf course. I don't know it's public. I don't know nothing about it. And it took me till I was 38 years old to take a trip and go to the golf course. When I get there, I'm green, bro. I don't know nothing. I ain't never played. I'm like, I'm here. you know, like I ain't know what to do. So I get there, I see this name. I see Tup, Alfred Tup Holmes. And I'm thinking, who is a Tup Holmes? I knew of a Holmes name because of Hamilton Holmes. Hamilton Holmes desegregated the University of Georgia and the university systems of Georgia for school. So I couldn't have gone to college, a public college, Southern Polytechnic, aka Kennesaw, if it had not been for Hamilton Holmes. So I'm like, okay, it's got to be a connection. I look it up. That's his daddy. Tub Holmes is Hamilton Holmes' dad, and Tub Holmes' work actually desegregated parks, swimming pools. I want to say like water fountains, like all public spaces in Georgia. The legislation to desegregate it started with Alfred Tub Holmes. To put it in perspective, if this was literally 70 years ago on this date, we could not go into but 3 parks out of the then 133 parks in Atlanta. So just imagine you paying your taxes. You doing like Tup worked for Lockheed Martin. He had a little money. He was an entrepreneur, right? He's a STEM guy. He's an entrepreneur. He has money. He's paying taxes, and he's a great golfer who played in college at Tuskegee. This guy was so good that the golf courses that he had access to, he could drive, I think, about 3 to 320 on a golf course. And all the courses he had access to were like 200 yards at the most. So he was, as an athlete, frustrated. And he got with the, yes. So he got with his dad, his lawyer, who was Thurgood Marshall, and took the city to court and won. Yeah, bro. So just imagine how crazy that is. A kid that, went to APS schools, a kid that, saw his father was the first black doctor in Atlanta. And he comes up and says, yo, I'm paying my taxes. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. I just want to play. That's literally policy at play right there, bro. That's policy at play all day long. So yeah, it means a lot to me, man. Like I work in parks. I couldn't even go to parks if it wasn't for this dude. So yeah, Tup Holmes is a very, very, very important person in Atlanta history.
So the launch of the Alfred Tup Holmes Golf Museum, you was able to restore it and put your own artwork. Not your own, I mean, decorate it.
So it's we curate it. We curate the museum.
Yeah, I'm missing the word, bro. I'm sorry. Curate the museum, the golf, and the golf museum, and the course, of course. Why was it important for you to honor his legacy this way?
Because if it wasn't for him, it would be no me. I wouldn't have been able to go and play in neighborhood parks. I wouldn't have been able to go to a state school. I wouldn't have been able to do any of this stuff, right? And when I got out there, it was a little barren. It wasn't super well kept. The city was doing what they could, but they just needed more resources after neglect for a long time. And I got with my friend Petey Parker, one of my favorite artists, and we got some funds together to paint the cart barn where you return the carts, the golf carts, and then we were graciously entertained by the Blank family of businesses, and they came out and helped resod stuff and just worked on the sand pits and everything of a whole golf course. We're talking 1 million square feet. Once that happened, we had to go through some legislation stuff to be able to work on the museum or the space downstairs that was a basement where we're installing a 2 golf simulators. We have a full-fledged museum that tells the history of golf, sports, and Atlanta history between Tup's birth and up to current times, where you can see what was happening in all 3 areas of life and really understand the doors that were opened by not just Tup Homes, but their whole family. So it's really near and dear to us, and it's an amazing opportunity to be a part of history.
The museum blends history, art, and sports.
Yeah.
What do you hope young people take away after visiting the museum?
I want them to take away that they can. Whatever it is they want to do, they can do. Whatever barrier there is, I want them to be inspired to like do the right thing, believe in themselves, and ride it out, and they'll be successful. Like I really want that. I want them to be connected to, STEM through our golf simulators. I want them to be connected to small business. We work with the Village Micro Fund to do programming centered around entrepreneurship. That's really near and dear to us. And on the athletic side, I partner with my favorite golfer, Alexis Belton, um, who's a world long drive champion. I think at one point she was ranked #1 in the world at long drive and is a pro golfer. And she's doing some cool programming for kids at the golf course.
Kensington Martyr Station.
Man.
You refurbished the parking lot into a dead empty parking lot into a whole soccer field.
So
That process.
let me start by saying there's a gentleman named Sanjay Patel who is a genius. He thought putting soccer fields at train stations was a good idea, and he was right. He was right. And he gave us the opportunity to work with Soccer in the Streets and a couple other people to use Kevin Bungang's beautiful mural and install it there to just be more vibrant and get the community together. So as we get closer to the World Cup, we got a couple more opportunities like that in different cities, but just loving that opportunity, love seeing what is done for the kids. MARTA has been so good to us that they gave us another opportunity to do a crosswalk with Melissa Mitchell, another phenomenal artist over ABL Creations. Phenomenal mural that goes 400 feet from the train station to the field. So just put it in perspective. You're a kid. You get off the train. You're guided by Kevin Bungang's mural at the station. You see a crosswalk that's 400 feet, so no cars can bother you. You can keep your headphones on. You ain't even got to pay attention. You can walk straight over to that field that's top notch. They got wonderful turf and everything, and just go and play. Like you ain't got to worry about nothing else. And MARTA was so good to us, they gave us 2 separate MARTA cars to commemorate each mural. So just think of it as a kid, you're seeing this. What that means is you're invested in. We always tell kids what to do, but if you tell a kid what to do and they hungry, they need, you know what I'm saying? Like when you invest in kids, you give them a better chance. So that has been a very, very special thing. And I want to touch on this too. Um, with Adidas, one of their top athletes right now is Anthony Edwards, from the same neighborhood as me, Oakland City. Little baby's from there too, and Adidas was gracious enough to do a court with us for Anthony Edwards' first shoe release, and the sneaker was like the number one sneaker of the year. Yes, the A1s. That sneaker was number one. Lil Baby came and did a concert in the neighborhood, and the court is actually on NBA 2K24. So put yourself in the perspective of a kid from Oakland City. You got 2 role models in Anthony Edwards and Lil Baby. They're coming together, pouring into your neighborhood. You got the investment of a company like an Adidas that's coming in saying, hey, we'll cover it. We want to make sure you're inspired. And then you go to your game that you're playing because everybody play 2K, and your neighborhood court is on the game. But you couldn't tell me nothing if I was a kid, man. You couldn't tell me nothing. So I know I'm a little excited, man, but it's just love seeing how kids get to be empowered through our work.
What do you think of Anthony Edwards? He is from your hometown.
Anthony Edwards is me at 24. He is me at 24. And I want people to understand what we're seeing. We're seeing somebody who is free. I think that's the draw to him, right? Like he's probably he's not even polarizing, man. He's entertaining, right?
Like you either hate him because he's beating your team or you love him.
He is the new Charles Barkley, the new Muhammad Ali. Like he's a young, strong black man who is not afraid to say what he has to say. He's not trying to offend nobody. He's just being him. And that's why I was drawn to art and sports. The only time they let the black man really freely be him is in a movie screen, on a rap album, or on a quarter field. I want to kind of close that gap and lead into more policy and things like that. But Anthony Edwards is in a great position to just show the world that the young gentleman ain't just YNs. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
So you worked with everyone: Lil Baby, Coco God, Anthony Edwards, Adidas. What makes a meaningful partnership to you, and how do you choose who you want to work with?
Impact. I don't care about your name. I don't care about it. I work with everybody. So you bringing you to the table does not matter if there's no impact. What happens the day the paint dries? What happens What happens when we got a situation right now? We worked with Coco Golf, and we have a court in Brownwood Park, 3 tennis courts, beautiful. Some stuff happened. There was somebody had a mental health issue, and there was some light vandalism. We still here. We still here. The partners are still here. We coming back to make sure that we clean up everything, that everything looks right. There's some people when the day after they get their picture, they're going away. Like we don't want partnerships that are for a day. We are in our communities. We are here to make a change and make a difference, not just make a dollar in the press release. So that's what we look for. Who's actually invested? Who's going to benefit them? I've gotten everything. I'm literally going into a Hall of Fame later on next month. I've done. Thank you. I've done everything I could in sports. I made all the money I need to make. If it doesn't help my community, I don't want to do it.
So I want to know, what is the legacy you hope you leave and Art in the Paint leaves when it's all said and done?
On the personal side, there's a statistic that says there's a stat that says only 4% of kids in Atlanta that are born in poverty ever escape it. I'm that 4%. I'm that 4%, right? I think my life's work is to make sure that we scale that. By the end of my life, I hope it's up to 15, 20%. And I hope I empower people to get that to maybe 50%, right? Like I don't want to be special. Yeah, I got a college degree. Yeah, I played pro sports. Yeah, I guess a public official or whatever with the city. That's cool. But if I'm special, we're failing. I don't need to be special. I need peers. I need, like, you know what I'm saying? So building more me's, putting people in great opportunities. Like I said, with like stuff like our cohorts and stuff like that, that starts to go into the legacy of Art in the Paint. I think by 2040, we're gonna have a GM of a major sports team come out of our programs. Like that's the kind of actual legacy and impact we want to have. Yeah.
I just want to say, AR Cooper, man, I appreciate you so much for taking the time to talk with us today, for taking the time to explain all the amazing work you're doing across the city, and not even just the city of Atlanta, but across the world. So it's much needed. We're appreciative of it. Can you please let everybody know where we can follow you, or if we want to kind of get involved in some of the things you're doing, how can we?
Please, 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 please follow us at artinthepaint.org on Instagram. We'll be having more updates, especially around the Tubb Homes Museum. We're trying to do some cool things with NBA All Star. Of course, we got some cool stuff coming with Adidas. So just stay tuned, stay active, and if you want to come out and paint, please let us know.
Appreciate you. Rolling out. Hello.
Thank you.